Oh, well, welcome back, subscribers, to another review. Today's review is going to be the Psycho Cop franchise review. Psycho Cop and Psycho Cop 2, also known as Psycho Cop Returns. Um, I'm not sure if I did a Psycho Cop review before, but if I did, this is going to be both films. First off, before I get into the review, the original Psycho Cop. I remember when it originally came out to my video store in 1990, and I saw it in 1990 later that year, and I always fell in love with the film because you had Maniac Cop, and you had a bunch of other RoboCop, and have things like that. So when I saw Psycho Cop, I was like, man, I really like to see this movie, and I enjoyed it. Still to this day, the DVD that I have is not a official release from any major or minor film distribution company. But when you have certain movies that you want to get and it's hard to get, you have to just get what you can get. But the DVD that I have it's okay for what it is. It's released by small independent company. Not independent, but just made for somebody who put it on a DVD-R. But yeah, I like the cover of it. I don't know if you can really see the cover really well, but it says, "He's the last cop you ever meet." Um, so Psycho Cop is basically where some um, college kids go to stay at this um, house that one of the friends has or owns or something like that, or is renting, and things start to happen. Like there's this cop following them around, and he kills them one by one. But prior to right in the beginning of the movie, you see that Psycho Cop is actually a satanic kind of guy, because you see him putting his hands in blood, and you see um, satanic symbols everywhere, and he ends up killing these two people that are driving down the road. And the one actress that in the beginning of the movie looks a lot like my friend on Facebook and actress from Twisted Nightmare, Rhonda Gray, also known as Rhonda Slezno. She looks exactly like her. I'm not sure if that's her or not, but that was a really cool part thing, because I saw him and I was like, that really looks like the girl from Twisted Nightmare. So, and some of the characters can be a little annoying. The caretaker was not even billed in this movie. The caretaker, you hear his name multiple times throughout the film. A lot of the actors that have done this film really haven't done much after this. The one actor, I think his name is, let me see if I can read it here. This got really small lettering. One of the actors, I think it's Greg. I'm not sure of his last name. He passed away recently, and unfortunately, the director passed away too. That his name was. Let's see if I can read it here. It's got really small letters. Wallace Potts. He passed away as well. So if there ever was a legitimate release, I would definitely like to hear at least some of the people that were behind the scenes of the movie. And I think it was Southgate that released this. I think so. I can't really tell, but it was originally released it. And anyway, Psycho Cop, the guy who plays Psycho Cop, Bobby Ray Schaefer, he played it to the T. He really did a really good job of this. I can see why they asked him to return for the second one. He's a pretty well-known actor who plays a lot of cops or plays a lot of bad guys in movies. He actually played years later. He played in Monster Man, and he actually showed up on an episode of Wings. He still acts today. I would love to see a commentary with him and maybe one or two of the crew members or the cast members talking about it on maybe Vinegar Syndrome, or because Vinegar Syndrome released the second one, so I would love to see them, or maybe even Shout Factory or Scream Factory. Any of those companies would be really cool to see or hear a commentary track and an actual trailer, because this doesn't have a trailer on it. But the Psycho Cop is actually a killer that was a satanic. I believe his name was. The name escapes me right now, but he's several different names. And when I was getting back to the story line, a lot of the characters in the movie are kind of annoying. Cynthia Geyer, who is a model, she actually ended up dating Corey Haim for a while. They were going to get engaged, but that's a different story. She kind of is annoying in the movie. Where's my brush? What'd you do with my brush? And the one part when the lead actor, he goes, "Oh, my rib," and I don't understand why he hurt his rib, because he didn't do anything to his rib. But the ending of the movie definitely leaves it open for sequel. It was made in 1988, got released in '89, and I saw it in '90. It's a really, you can tell it's a low budget movie made, but I enjoy it. I still do to this day. Would I recommend this movie? If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's definitely worth watching. Sometimes multiple times. I mean, if you can get past some of the lousy acting in it, but the director, Wallace Potts, I mean, I think he did a pretty good job. And yeah. So as far as the Richter scale goes, I would give this a solid 7. Give this a solid 7 out of 10. So that's the Psycho Cop, the first one. Now the second one, I read in Fangoria, because I collected Fangoria around this time. I read that they were going to make a sequel in the special sequel issue, that Psycho Cop 2. And I was like, man, I'm dying to see this. Well, that was 92. I didn't get to see it till 93, because that's when it came out to release. What's funny is the director, Riff Coogan, also known as Adam Rifkin, directed this film, and prior to this he did a movie called The Dark Backward, which I had seen prior to this, and I liked it. It was a weird movie, but it was a great film, and it was kind of interesting to see him do this, because after doing Psycho Cop, it got released after his movie The Chase got released in the theater in early '93. And some of the actors in this have went on to do other roles. I mean, the main Barbara Lee Alexander, she still acts today. Surprised that she, and she also goes by Barbara Nevin, and it's got the former Penthouse Pet and erotic thriller film actress Julie Strain is in this, and you have some other young actors and actresses in this. This is the Blu-ray, Psycho Cop Returns. This comes with the DVD and the Blu-ray, which the DVD says Psycho Cop 2 on it. The special features on here is pretty much a documentary about the making of the film. It interviews a lot of the actors and actresses and some of the people behind the scenes. It has a commentary track, which I've listened to, and it's pretty interesting, pretty cool. But yeah, that's the Psycho Cop. Psycho Cop 2, or Psycho Cop Returns, is pretty much more into the dark black comedy than the first movie was. It's basically these people that are in a like a big gigantic business tower, business or whatever, and they have like this kind of like stag party where they bring some of these girls over, and because it's a bachelor party for one of their friends that's there, and they end up getting killed one by one by the Psycho Cop, so I mean, it's crazy, it's funny, it's a lot of craziness stuff that happens in this movie. As far as like Psycho Cop, he's always got this one-liners. Going back to the first one, there was another part of the film that I forgot to mention in the first Psycho Cop, is that I like when Psycho Cop goes turning, because he's grabbing the wheel of the car and trying to turn the car. But anyway, he's got Bobby Ray Schaefer returns to play the role of this. He did really great performance in this. If I was ever going to meet somebody who done these films, it would definitely be him, because I liked his performance, and he seems like a pretty cool guy. But a lot of the people die in this film. There's like a couple survivors. Miles David Dogle, he's actually one of the survivors with Barbara Nevin, And yeah, so the one thing towards the end of the movie, because it's like '92, kind of does a redo of like the Rodney King thing that happened like a year before, and it kind of shows like the cops getting beat up all these people in the streets instead of the cop beating someone up. So it's kind of a reverse of that, and then somebody actually catching a film, which is actually paid by the director. Um, and the only sad thing I can say about the Psycho Cop Returns, or Psycho Cop 2, as most people know it is the ending of the film. Um, People who haven't seen this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, so I apologize for that. But the ending of the movie leaves it open for a sequel. And here it is 27 years later, and it still is no sequel. Don't think it'll ever happen. Um, but it would be cool to actually return to the Psycho Cop and actually put an end to it, do an actual trilogy and end the series. But it is what it is. Would I recommend this? Yes and no. I would recommend it if you've followed the first film and you enjoyed the first film. I would definitely recommend seeing the second one. I mean, because it's got some great fun moments in it. And for a not making condition, it's not as good as the first one in my opinion, but I actually like this too. So I'm kind of like contradicting myself, but the first one is my favorite, and then would be the second one. So as far as the Richter scale rating, I would give this a 6, a definite 6 out of 10. So yeah, that's the Psycho Cop 2, Psycho Cop Returns. That's the Psycho Cop franchise review. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will do another review tomorrow, and then following next weekend, I'm finally going to set this camera up, and I'm going to show some of my wrestling figures that I've collected over the years. I'm going to try my best to get the best detail of it. Some of the figures I have, missing arms, and just years of torture of wrestling in my ring, and if I can, I'll actually show you my ring as well. So yeah, so if you like this review, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can get notifications of any new movie reviews or videos that I upload. And leave comments below. I always enjoy having comments. And thanks again for the 250 plus subscribers. And I will check you out on the next video.